Well, good evening and welcome to Weather Fans Live. That's a bit bright, isn't it, in the top there? Welcome to Weather Fans Live here on the last day of meteorological summer. That's I think what we're doing there. Tonight we're going to take a look at the latest in the tropics and is high pressure about to take control of our weather? We'll have to have a look at the charts for that, the latest. So let's go straight onto the screen share and have a look at the latest in the tropics. So currently we've got three named storms in the Atlantic. We've got the yellow investigation there and the red one there. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. There is nothing in the Central Pacific or the Eastern Pacific, so all the action at the moment is in the Atlantic. So first thing we'll have a look at is these investigations. So first we have to take a look at this yellow one, disturbance number 2, 30% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours. So this is the remnants of Gert, a small area of low pressure located several hundred miles northeast of the northern Leeward Islands, is producing small bursts of showers and thunderstorms to the south of its centre. This system has a short window for further development during the next day or so while it drifts northeastward or eastward, before upper level winds become increasingly unfavourable by the weekend. And both the 48 hours and the 7 days is at 30% chance of anything developing of the remnants of Gert. We've got this red X down here in the eastern tropical Atlantic. So an area of low pressure located just west of the Cabo Verde Islands continues to produce showers and thunderstorms with some signs of organisation. Environmental conditions appear conducive for further development of the system, and a tropical depression is likely to form during the next day or two while the system moves northwestward at 10 to 15 miles per hour across the eastern tropical Atlantic. Interest in the Cabo Verde Islands should monitor the progress of this system. So both the 48 hours and 7 days formation chance are both at 80%. So this looks like it could set to be our next named storm, probably by Saturday the latest. Let's have a look at Jose. So we've got Tropical Storm Jose. Currently situated in the mid-Atlantic with maximum sustained winds of 40 miles an hour, moving northwards at 7 miles an hour. Tropical Storm Jose is not expected to strengthen. It's just set to practically die a death in the next 24 to 36 hours as it moves northwards. So we'd have to really worry about Jose at all. The one that's been in the news recently is now what's Tropical Storm Ardelia, which did hit Florida as a Category 3. Briefly, it was a Category 4. So the key messages from Tropical Storm Ardelia is rainfall will be diminishing by early afternoon from coastal North Carolina into the far southeast Virginia. Moderate river flooding with considerable impacts will continue across coastal North Carolina through today. Coastal flooding is expected within the storm surge watch area in North Carolina today. Residents in those areas should follow any advice given by local officials. And tropical storm conditions will continue across eastern North Carolina with the tropical storm warning area through this evening. So let's have a look, see where the tropical storm Ardelia is expected to go the next few days. And this has it going more subtropical actually before maybe returning its tropical elements as it heads towards Bermuda by the weekend. So maximum sustained winds at the moment is currently at 65 miles an hour, and this is tracking eastwards at 20 miles an hour. So in the next 24 hours, it's expected to move more towards the southeast before looping back up towards, it's like hitting Bermuda full on as a tropical storm before it starts to head north to northeastwards into the Atlantic. And we've still got Hurricane Franklin in the Western Atlantic that is now progressing more towards, well, starts to make its progress towards the North Atlantic. Let's get my words out here. Starts to make its progress into the Central Atlantic as it moves further northeast. It's expected to lose its tropical elements in the next 48 hours as it moves east to northeastwards, currently at 14 miles an hour. Currently, its maximum sustained winds of 100 miles an hour. We're not expecting Hurricane Franklin to hit the UK. The latest forecast model is expected to move that more towards Iceland. Obviously, it would not be a tropical hurricane at all. It would just be a mid-latitude area of low pressure. So there's the headlines from the National Hurricane Center. Tropical storm Jose moving northward, expected to be absorbed by Franklin on Friday. So that's why Jose is virtually dying a death. It's just because it's going to interact with Franklin. Hurricane Franklin continued moving away from Bermuda, forecast to become extratropical in a couple of days, and ideally losing tropical characteristics. Strong winds and storm surge continue along the coast of North Carolina. So it looks like it's due to these tropical characteristics. It could regain them again as it heads towards Bermuda. So there's Ardelia, there's Franklin, and there's what's left of Jose. So you can see there as Jose moves towards the north, it's just going to get swamped by Franklin there. And it looks like at this stage, Ardelia is perhaps going to take a similar path to Franklin, but we shall see. Let's move on now to the latest from the UK. These are the latest facts charts from the Met Office as of midday today. And we've got weather front sat to our southwest with low pressure sat out towards the west of the UK. As we head through into tomorrow, this is not any hurricanes at all. This is just a mid-latitude storm heading towards Greenland and Iceland. It's quite a strong storm at 9.68 actually. That's going to be pushing quite a lot of heat actually towards Iceland and bringing that warm air aloft, probably right up into the I was going to say North Pole, but it's not the what I'm looking for. Into the Arctic region. For the UK, we've got this low pressure more towards, more centered towards the southeast of the UK. We've got this trailing weather front for northern areas through tomorrow, and looks like some showers across southern areas tomorrow with a risk of hail and thunder. As we head through into midnight to Saturday, that weather front across northern areas is virtually dying a death as high pressure starts to build across the UK. That low pressure affecting parts of Greenland and into Iceland. With that alone, all that hot air that warm air which is associated with it allows this area of high pressure to build underneath it. And there we're seeing Hurricane Franklin down there in the bottom left of that image. As we head into Saturday, high pressure starts to take control of our weather. That low pressure over Greenland with strong winds well to the North Atlantic. Much of the UK is under, well, all the UK is under high pressure. Can't be all that the odd shower maybe down the southeast coast there. And there's the Hurricane Franklin, which is now ex-Hurricane Franklin, as it begins to lose its tropical characteristics. As we're under high pressure, the Iberia starts to go under low pressure with all these troughs circulating around this area of low pressure. So thunderstorms or longer spells of rain are likely. So if you know when that's heading towards Iberia this weekend and perhaps into next week, there is a risk there of plenty of, I'll say, easily thunderstorms really circulate around this area of low pressure. As we head through into midnight on Sunday, we've got to keep an eye on this weather front across southern areas that could produce some spells of rain and maybe thunderstorms, perhaps for southern counties there. That's in association with this low pressure towards Iberia. That low pressure towards Greenland and Iceland is still sitting there, but Franklin is also there before that trailing weather front takes it through. It's that weather front just to the north of Scotland. So parts of Scotland could see a band of rain or shower rain coming into the far north. As we head into Sunday, that weather from across southern areas seems to be decaying, but someone would need to keep an eye on it. Still could produce some showers. And there's what's left of Hurricane Franklin in the mid-Atlantic, still progressing north to northeastwards. High pressure still sat across the UK on Sunday, so temperatures could get up to the mid-20s there. And as we head into Monday, high pressure is in full control of the weather. With this weak weather front across northern areas, again could produce some shower rain for northern Scotland. And there is that area of low pressure set over just to the southwest of Iberia. This again will still produce some rain or some rain or showers, some of the more likely to be thunderstorms circulating around this. So let's have a look at the latest charts from the GFS model, the latest one from midday today. Let's have a look at the sea surface pressure charts before heading on to the upper airs. So there's that low pressure coming across the UK in the next 24 hours. That starts to progress towards Iberia, and high pressure starts to take control. There's that mid-latitude storm heading towards Iceland and Greenland. There's what will be leftovers of Franklin. As we head into start next week, high pressure is in control of our weather. The high pressure pushes the leftovers of Franklin up towards Greenland probably to merge with that area of low pressure over Greenland at the moment. That area of low pressure around about Iberia looks like it's trying to push back north again, but then start to pick up southeasterly there on this current run on Thursday. What happens into the weekend? That could produce some rain or perhaps thunderstorms there through Thursday. And the air's gone a bit slack there. Can't rule out some showers there, maybe for Friday. Now we've got that bit of a pincer movement there where we've got low pressure towards Iceland and low pressure down to the Bay of Biscay. And it's like, could them two trying to close in on the UK? Or which one could be the dominant one? Perhaps the one over Biscay could be the dominant one. We've got a ridge of high pressure building across the UK as we head into day 10, 11 and 12. Then we've got a couple of tropical storms there, I'm noticing there. That could be the one, that's the investigation at the minute down towards the Cabo Verde Islands. It looks like it could turn a bit stormy, well, not stormy, but more wet and windy further north you are with that ridge of high pressure trying to stay in control. Also, that low pressure does win out. And that deep low there, which will be our next named storm, where's that going to head towards? Could be picked up by the jet stream. I can't actually go any further than that. I didn't realise we're holding in today's 16 and 17 there. So it looks like as we head into the second to third week of September, or the second week of September. No, so yeah, but coming towards the third week of September. So low pressure just trying to take control of the weather. But we're relatively under high pressure, really, as from Saturday with this latest run. So low pressure just trying to move up from the south and southwest. As we go through next week, that could produce some thunderstorms. We'll have a look at the upper airs and the Cape and lifted. So let's have a look at the upper airs with this latest model run. And we're relatively under cool air at the moment. As high pressure starts to build, we start to see warmer air start to come in. We've got the 15-degree isotherm across southern counties as we head through into late Sunday. Do we get any more warmth from this? 15-degree isotherm is sat across central areas as we head into Tuesday. The 20-degree isotherm is just the other side of the channel. Does that get in with this southeasterly? That's expected. Looks like it just stays in the near continent. And it's got a stage there where the area of low pressure moves up from the south. Still got this, say, quite warm and humid air going across the UK. This actually could produce some thunderstorms as we head to around about this time next week. So we definitely need to keep an eye on that. And this is keeping us fairly warm, actually, as we head through to next weekend. We've got cooler air trying to move in from the northwest there. There's under the low pressure trying to move in there as we go into days 10, 11, and 12. And the weather fronts move in as we're heading to days 14. 2 weeks' time for days 14. So that weather front does clear through the country and we'll start to get into more of a cooler, fresher, I'll possibly even say autumnal airstream. But these charts are subject to change due to the interaction of these tropical systems. It could have a different setup when we look at it in a couple of days' time. So let's have a look at the temperatures with this latest run. Without looking at them first, I'm guessing we could see temperatures perhaps easily into the mid to maybe to high 20s as we head through to midweek. So let's get through into Saturday, where high pressure starts to build in. Temperatures quite widely across the UK into the high teens, low 20s, perhaps scraping 25 down the southeast. Sunday is looking a little bit warmer Again, temperature could even get to 26, maybe 27 degrees down towards the southeast. Cooler actually towards northwest Scotland, where potentially got that weather front dangling across there. Monday, again, we're looking at perhaps mid-tweens, mid-20s across much of England and Wales. Scotland, cooler, perhaps with that weather front still sitting across the northwest of Scotland. As mentioned, temperatures perhaps mid-20s, maybe getting to the high 20s down the southeast. Into Tuesday, again, temperatures nicely into the mid-20s across much of England and Wales. A bit also that weather front may start to clear Scotland there. Temperatures there also into the high teens, low 20s. Wednesday, again, perhaps a bit cooler up into the northeast coast. Maybe an onshore breeze there from the North Sea. Much of England and Wales, again, low to mid-20. Just give me a second. Then what are these temperatures doing for Thursday? This is bringing temperatures again back up into the mid to high 20s. That's showing about 30, maybe 31 down the southeast for next Thursday. I think this one will start picking up that southeasterly flow again, mid to high 20s again for much of England and Wales. Perhaps a bit cooler towards northern England to western Scotland. And this is still showing temperatures into the mid-20s as we head today's 10. But then potentially with a weather front or more cloud around for Sunday the 10th at this stage. Temperatures back into the teens quite widely. Then temperatures are back to more or less where it should be for the second week of September, into the high teens, perhaps low 20s again. And we're keeping temperatures into the high teens, low 20s as we head through to Thursday the 14th. Then that fresh red does move across the UK, putting temperatures back into just the teens. So I've got the Cape and lifted. If that low pressure does come up from the south, we could actually see some perhaps nice storms coming up from the south. And dare I say, could we see a Spanish plume, which will bring up a lot of moisture. So let's get through this weekend and see how the Cape and lifted go as we head through into next week. So probably looking from about Wednesday, Thursday onwards. So we're seeing perhaps a hint there of Cape and lifted down towards southwest Wales there on Wednesday. Don't think this is around about the time where that low pressure moves up from the south. No, I'm not seeing anything there. Nothing there for Friday. Very little there for Sunday. And so no, not seeing much Cape and lifted there actually. I thought it'd be a little bit more than that, but clearly not. Right, let's have a look at the 850 and have a look at this morning's run, see if it's in agreement to what we just saw, or is it completely different. So let's see if this has high pressure building across for quite a few days as well. So that low pressure sinks towards Iberia, high pressure builds across the UK. The 15-degree isotherm sat across the UK, much of the UK, for central southern areas. Does this bring in the plus 20? Oh, it brings that down to the far southeast, perhaps 7 counties on this morning's run. And fresh air moves in for this time next week. Then there's that low pressure moving up from the southwest. No, it's not bringing too much. So definitely wrong there on the Spanish plume there. Could be more showers or rain. This seems to keep high pressure across more towards towards Norway on this run, but it's not pumping up any warmer air from the south as we're heading towards the end of this run. Let's see the level pressure chart so we can see it a lot clearer. So there's the high pressure build across the UK for the weekend. What's left of Franklin here heads up towards Greenland and Iceland. So there's that high pressure which is centered more towards Denmark. A bit of a southeasterly there, then perhaps a slack southerly. There may be some rain or showers there, with a bit of a slack flow there. There's perhaps a shallow area of low pressure for next weekend. Now, area of low pressure tries to move up from the southwest. We're getting back into a bit of a southeasterly flow there, but it looks like it's not looking hot before that low does move in. Doesn't get quite fully in due to high pressure towards the north of Scandi there. So that's blocking any northward progression of this system. So we're getting a bit of a easterly there. That low just sits around, and also it could be dry there further north and east you are with that area of high pressure set towards over Scandi. So that's showing a little bit different. Actually, it's showing quite a bit different there compared to what we saw with the latest run. But as I mentioned, when you've got these high energy storms in the Atlantic, it can throw the charts off quite a bit, really. You get a lot of uncertainty, especially during September, with these or current tropical systems. Let's have a look at the ECMWF, see what that is showing. That is currently updating for the lunchtime run, so let's see what I can have a look at the moment. So sea level pressure chart. So as that low sinks towards Iberia, this is showing that high pressure building across the UK for the start of next week. Switch our winds up more towards an east to southeasterly there. Now the winds switch to a more of a southeasterly, and that's about as far as I can go at the moment with this. So we've got the 850, the upper air, see how much of the warmth that wafts up. So relatively cool through today and for Friday and Saturday before the eye of high pressure builds and the heat increases. Is that bringing that plus 20 degree isotherm? Looks like it brings it in towards actually across 7 counties, perhaps into the Midlands as well for a while through into Wednesday. So let's have a look at the surface temperatures, if these will show them. These will not show them actually on this. So let's have a look at the precipitation. So what you should see is from Saturday onwards, no more precipitation to fall across the UK apart from the far north of Scotland. It stays like that through to midweek, and that's again as far as we can go with this run of the ECMWF. That's currently updating as I speak. So let's have a look at the rainfall for the next few days with the UKEV. So this is the rain that's coming across the UK at the moment. That heads towards northern England. That's set to stick there during tomorrow. Start weakening. A few scattered showers could break out across parts of Wales and perhaps northern England, but this is showing them very scattered indeed. And as we thread through into Saturday, well, a few scattered showers. And apart from that weather front towards northern area, northern Scotland there, we're virtually universally dry as we head into midweek. So in summary, another day of low pressure across the UK, weather front stuck across northern areas. Then as we head through the weekend, it's turning drier and sunnier and even warmer as well. Temperatures up into the mid-20s across much of England and Wales, and perhaps the high teens across Scotland as well. Looks like it's due to stick around to at least midweek. Then potentially some rain or maybe showers to move up from the south, but there was a bit of uncertainty in that at this stage, but will firm up as we go through and start next week. So this is the last day of meteorological summer. Hopefully by Sunday we'll have the Met Office stats ready for August and for the whole of summer. If not, maybe do a special live on Monday. Okay, that's enough for me tonight. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.